got my runtime down to about 475 megabytes stable footprint, and that's through activity in the editor. Did some serious cleanup of my code for consistency and keeping everything uniform, neat, and organized. This is huge for me. I'm starting to get my code base to the point where just looking at the outlines of my files is becoming indicative of where I'm at in regard to completing subsystems for review and finalizing them. Just based on the way the silhouette looks, I can tell that I went through this because it's organized. Looking just from, you can see the patterns. Everything's laid out in a uniform, consistent pattern that reflects a process, consistent process. And when you have that consistent process in place, you have cohesion and a navigable code base. Just to give you a size of the scale of just how big this fucking code base is, and it may be small compared to like what senior level developers or other code developers work with, but for me, just at a glance, this is something that's impressive, and it's all beautifully coordinated and has a stable runtime footprint, and everything works beautifully, and that's why it means something to me. This is my entire code base now. This is how much code I've done. This is what the editor and my game scene UI looks like in code. All of this, and the game's logic isn't even wired in yet. That's a grand strategy game. This isn't your knockoff app like this one that I just made in literally 15 minutes, well, about 30 minutes earlier today. This took me to make this converter for my PNG file, so I don't have to use monogame pipeline content builder anymore. I have my own custom pipeline that I manage myself, and it produces files and textures that I can implement into the game in whatever format I want, wherever I want, however I want. I just have to define the proper load string, the call, and define the loaders respectively. But that helped me optimize my runner and pipeline quite a bit. I located some code, my grid layer earlier, that allowed me to drop some redundant code that allowed me to drop my runtime by another 25 megabytes or so at game time in the scene. I'm going to next work on finishing up my back map and getting that these are already DirectX DXT1, so I can render these. I'm going to enlarge them though, and I'm going to keep the proportions the same, but I'm going to make the map a little bit bigger so I don't have to scale it up to such a great degree, so it won't be quite as blurry in the game scene. It'll have a little bit more definition and clarity to it, and that'll drop my runtime again. So I'll be running this game probably at about 400 megabytes of stable runtime with no drift or churning throughout play. It's just rock solid. It doesn't move. After it loads, you give it about 5 minutes to run through its its startup processes, and then it just stays rock solid where it is. I could fucking run my I could run my painting tools across the fucking entire world, and the runtime just doesn't move. It's amazing. So that's pretty great for me. 400 megabytes stable runtime, and then I'm going to start building the scenario loaders and transferring this over to the game scene, and then I'll be able to clean up over there, get up to speed with where I'm at with my ability to code and recognize the way I should structure this, and removing redundancy in my code base to improve efficiency of operations. I'll have to review my original code, which is still pretty clean. You know, like this shit. Like, I didn't realize, like, when I first started coding, that I thought like Atlas bounds was like a standard that I had to abide by. I can define that the way I want to. I don't have to have like region name written behind every namespace, or layout bounds written behind every namespace. I can control that. I got a public or a global constant for this now. I don't even need these anymore. I can just get rid of those. That's optimizing, and not only I mean, that won't have too dramatic of a that won't have a noticeable impact on runtime performance. That little removal right there that I just did, but what that will do is it'll streamline my code base for readability. I won't have to look at files and analyze everything that's within a file's contents. It doesn't have to be there. That more or less is just a cognitive distraction after you have you know, shit cleaned up properly. I don't have to have that declared in every single file anymore. I have it declared once, and it's a global constant all the way up here. My global scaling, I never have to write this again in my engine. I just reference the resolution scaler and whatever namespace I need out of it for whatever method I'm constructing or referencing in my code base, and it's globally available. It's available to every file. Same thing here. I got another one. Never have to recompute, or I can just have these constants. And I have other constants that aren't global too, like my rectangle constants and whatnot. But these are global. They're very nice, and they've helped me clean up my code base quite a bit. And a lot of little cleanups ultimately translates to an improvement in runtime, the memory footprints. Like I said, my runtime's stable, debugged. I'm not throwing any hidden exceptions. I actually identified all the hidden exceptions that were being thrown because of the monogame content pipeline, and how I was referencing ghost files and textures that were no longer even implemented in my code base, XMB files, but for some reason, even setting the files to copy was still, because I was using the content pipeline call, was still looking for XMB textures that weren't there, and it wasn't crashing my game, and it wasn't showing me that I was throwing exceptions until I freaking set this